back to the PCI podcast. I'm Aruni and today I'm here with Mr. Rizal. Hi Mr.
Hello.
Our English teacher. In this episode, we're going to do something special. We call it Ask Mr. All About English. We know that English can be challenging sometimes, but also fun and useful. So today, I will ask Mr. Rizal about some questions that students like us often wonder about. We'll talk about why English is important, why it's used all over the world, and how we can improve our English skills, especially outside the classroom. We'll even ask for a movie recommendations. So let's get started. Hello, Mr. Thank you for joining us today. First of all, why do we need to learn English?
Okay, thank you so much for inviting me in this podcast. I'm really excited to be here. Yeah. So first, why do we need you as a student? Why do you need to learn English? So I think it's learning English is very beneficial for students. For example, if you want to be able to communicate with others people from different countries, by having the ability to use English, you can communicate easily. And also, most information in the internet right now, they are usually use English. So by having the knowledge and understanding about the English, you can get more information. And also, by having the ability to use English, you'll get more chances and opportunities. For example, if you want to go study abroad, for example, yeah. So by having those benefits for the students, it's really important for them to learn English. So by the way, so about when you have a chance to go abroad, for study, where do you want to go?
I want to go to Yonsei in Korea and Oxford or Harvard maybe.
Okay, that is a good choice. Let's hope that you can be there one day.
That makes sense. So, why has English become an international language and not Indonesian or other languages?
Okay, that's a good question. So, why do English become the international language, not other languages? I think let's go back to the history in the 16th centuries, when the British Empire, almost ruled the entire place in the world, and they tried to spread the English, and because of that, and also when the World War II end, at that time the America and they become the great countries, and because of that they can control over everything in the world, such as the economy, and also one of the important is language also, and that is why nowadays the English has become the international language and used by almost all people around the world.
Interesting. So, do you think Indonesian could ever become a global language?
Okay, for Indonesian to be into a global language, I think that's possible actually, yeah, because many people use English, Indonesian nowadays, English language nowadays, but still to become the international language or to be the lingua franca and around the world, I think we need more exposure to be there, because even though Indonesia is very popular around the ASEAN, but around the word is a bit quiet, not really popular. So that is why I think if we want to make the Indonesian language become the international language, we have to work hard and make sure that everybody knows about the Indonesian language.
That's cool. Now let's talk about mistakes.
Okay.
What's the biggest mistake students make when learning English?
Okay. So about the mistakes, the thing that I notice when I teach to the students, most of them, they have the ability to use English, but then when they have to speak, they be afraid, because they think that they need the perfect English. But that's not correct, because everybody can make mistakes, and in using the language, of course, the English language, no one can be perfect. So it's very common if you make mistake, and please don't be afraid if you want to be using English.
So how can students practice English in outside the classroom?
Okay, about the outside the classroom, yeah. So for the outside the classroom, actually there are many platforms nowadays if you want to learn English, yeah, especially the spread of the internet. For example, if you want to, using TikTok or Instagram or YouTube, it can be very beneficial if you want to learn English. So when we talk about the learning English, it's not always about in the classroom, like we used to do, but it's also the thing that we can do outside the classroom. During your free time, you can watch the YouTube, for example, if you want to learn, or you can open the TikTok, because most of the people nowadays, especially Gen Z, Gen Z, right? So the Gen Z nowadays, they really like to be using TikTok and communicate with people around the world.
Like listen to English songs or
also.
podcasts?
Yes, and also if you want to have the ability to do good English, listen to this podcast, And also another thing, you can also learning English through, movies and then songs, and it's really beneficial because it's not only learning, but it's really entertaining.
That sounds fun. Do you have any movie recommendations for students who want to improve their English?
Okay, recommendation. Actually, I'm really into a movie actually, because most of the time, if I have a free time, I try to have a new movie in my Netflix, something like that. So for the recommendation, I think it depends on the people, because every people have different tastes in the movie. If you like into a comedy, then just go and watch the comedy film. If you want to have the mystery genre, you can go and watch them. And for the recommendation, I think let's start by having for the beginner, you can use the animation movies like Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo. That's really interesting. Or you can also watch like Cars, and then Frozen. I think that's quite famous. So by having that movies that you like, I think you can actually try to enjoy the movie and also the learning.
Wow, I definitely try those. So, in your opinion, what English skills are most useful in real life?
Okay, about the real life. So actually, for the English skills, the four of the English skills, and like listening, speaking, reading, also writing is very important. But if you are trying to compare them, and then I think the most important, I think without making it less important, I think at least you need to have the ability to use the listening and also the speaking, because by having that two skills, at least you can communicate with the people. So by having the communication, you can talk to the people, you can be friends maybe, and something like that.
That's really helpful, actually. One last question. What keeps you motivated to teach English?
Okay, motivation in teaching English. I think it's quite sometimes when I'm teaching English, especially in this school. So the things that motivates me from teaching English until now is I think I'm really happy when I see my students growing. They can have the ability to use the English. Sometimes when they start learning at the first, they have nothing know about what English. But when they starting to grow, to understand, to use the English, and that's really something that made me really, really happy, and that keeps me motivates to teach English to my students.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rizal. This has been really an interesting talk, and I'm sure many students will be inspired to learn and practice more.
Okay, thank you so much for inviting me here. Don't forget to watch this podcast again and also practice your English.
And that's the end of today's PCI podcast. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Ask Mr. All About English. Don't forget to keep practicing, try watching one of those movies, and most of all, have fun with English. See you next time.
Bye.